reunion.
Yeah.
It is a camp out.
It's a cousin's camp out.
The cousins camp out. Which, by the way, Jerry is would it be impetus? What's the origin of? I do a family cousins.
There is an origin. There was two cousins. One was me, and one was another cousin. And we were always doing barbecues behind my uncle's houses. There was three uncles in a row, and then we had a friend who was like a friend of them who was like another uncle. So it was four uncles in a row, and we ran out of room. And I'm going, we're going to have to do stuff on our own, because all of these folks who are our parents and uncles, they're all in their 60s. They're probably going to die soon.
Any day.
Any day
they could die.
Yeah, being 76 now, I was pretty stupid at that point. The comments that I was making, but
yeah, I have to tell you, the closer I get to that age, the younger it is.
Exactly.
So yeah. So this was our 46th cousins camp out.
Wow, that's amazing.
And we had 80, which was a little off here. We typically have a little closer to 100.
Did you lose a few 65-year-olds?
No, not yet.
So what I was going to tell you, Jerry, so we've now done in my family, I think, our third, maybe, cousins trip. And right. It was born from,
yes.
I attended your cousin's trip as an unofficial cousin, and it was lovely. Jerry has...
It's great.
Lori, you have to know, Jerry has, not only does he have an Airstream that's bigger than most people's homes, he has a tent that's bigger than his Airstream. That's bigger than
I have the Mac Daddy.
I've given the tent away. It's an imported $3,000 tent from England that has air struts in it, so you pump it up. There's no metal in the tent, and it's 15 feet wide and 35 feet long. It's bigger than my Airstream, and I gave it to one of my cousin's kids because they now have three. He and his sister have three children between them and their spouses, obviously, and the end result is it's a family tent now. So it
like the inflatable air.
Set it up, but it was okay.
Wow. Well, it is impressive. It is an annual conversation. Lori, we're sorry that you dialed in on the day that we have to do a recap. But
I feel fortunate.
This was all last week. You're welcome to come anytime, Lori, to the camp. Right? I'm telling you, we have plenty of honorary cousins.
Perfect. I will take you up on that.
I think you would love it. It is quite I went. It's lovely. I couldn't go this last time, but I'm likely to go again, unless my invitation gets revoked.
It's cool. No, yeah, it's good.
Love it.
Well, are you guys ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Welcome to the CXR channel, our premier podcast for talent acquisition and talent management. Listen in as the CXR community discusses a wide range of topics focused on attracting, engaging, and retaining the best talent. We're glad you're here.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another Recruiting Community Podcast. I am Chris Witt, your host for the next 20 minutes of banter, where we're going to talk about some exciting stuff. We've got a meeting coming up, and we've got our hostess with the mostest who has joined us, and we're going to talk a little bit about why that topic is so important, still, maybe even a little bit more realized now than it has been over the last year. So I think we got lazy, and we're going to talk about that. But this is a pretty exciting thing coming up. I want to first welcome in and obviously, if you've got a chat window where you're watching us and where we're streaming this, we want to encourage you to go ahead and drop some questions in there, drop your LinkedIn profile, do a little schmoozing and a little networking to go ahead and connect. We have a lot of fun with that. If you've got any questions, you put them in there. We'll make sure if we don't get to them during the show, we'll make sure to get something back to you and we'll get an answer to you. So I want to go ahead and welcome in my co-host, my partner in crime, Jerry Camp Daddy Crispin. That's right. Your new name, Jerry Camp Daddy Crispin. Welcome, Jerry. Welcome back.
Well, thank you.
Does that title work for you?
I'm not really fully back yet. This takes a little mental change
Yeah.
after you're out in the wilderness. Well, I don't know. I was in the wilderness with a lovely trailer that had some fantastic air conditioning and everything else. So it was good.
But still, so if I introduce you as Jerry Camp Daddy Crispin, should I do it in my movie voice?
I
Would
don't know. No, your Italian voice?
No, not my mafia boss voice. My movie, like, now back from camping, we've got the man with the biggest tent you've ever seen, Jerry Camp Daddy Crispin. No, it's not it.
That's great. I like that.
All right, we do have some work things to actually talk about, Camp Daddy.
Yes, we do.
Let's go ahead and welcome in our guest, first time to the show, long time CXR member, Lori. How are you?
Hey there. Hi. Thank you. Thanks for having me. And I'm just like thinking Camp Daddy Crispin.
Yeah, this is one of those moments.
I'll go away.
I am in deep trouble.
Nobody told me this is what I signed up for when I said I'd be on. Well, Lori, you just got back from vacation as well, yeah?
Did, yes. We went to Hilton Head, South Carolina, and our favorite, I think one of the highlights was our private sailing trip that we did. So that was beautiful. We got an okay sunset, but the water was wonderful. So I was a happy camper, not a Camp Daddy Crispin camper.
Lori and her family are on a boat getting an okay sunset, but a beautiful clear water ride. There you go. So, Lori, for those who don't know you and love you like we do, it's just because they don't know you yet. Why don't you go ahead and give us maybe a little bit of an escalator pitch of who is Lori? Why do we care what Lori has to say? And I'll put you in full screen so folks can see you.
Well, thank you. That's so kind of you. So hi, everybody. I am Lori Chartrand, and I am with Edward Jones. And I am a lover of all things talent acquisition. So I am currently a director in branch team talent acquisition, and I support our North American hiring for branch support roles, system service, centralized support, and all of the new teaming and pilot work that we have going on. So I've been in TA for 20 years. 12 of those have been here with Edward Jones, and I just love making things better for the candidates and for our hiring leaders and the people who do the work. So that's me in a nutshell.
I love that. I love that. And the reason we've got you on, not just because you're awesome, but we're coming to your house.
Yes.
Yeah, essentially. And we're bringing some people with us.
Yes. I'm super excited. I think I'm going to have to start one of those countdown apps where I can be like, okay, 12 more days, 10 more days. So
my sister does that. She loves that thing. So we, just for those who don't know, in September, the candidate experience meeting we do, we're going to be out at Edward Jones. We're going to be in St. Louis, in that area there. And we're going to be connecting with not just Lori and members of her team, but we got a whole bunch of TA professionals that are coming out who are passionate about the topic of candidate experience. Now, hang in here with us because we've got a little bit of a howdy do. I'm trying to stick into the camping theme, but I'm running out of vocabulary. Is howdy do at camping? It doesn't matter.
I feel like it should be.
I think it should be. Somebody add that to the camping vernacular. So anyway, we got a couple slots left, and we've decided that we're going to invite two qualifying companies. So it won't just be any company, right? You got to be doing the work. But we're going to invite any two qualifying companies that are interested in attending that. So if they want to come out, so usually these are members only. We're going to open up 2 seats and sort of gift that out and see who would like to attend. So hang in there for the details. We're going to share. But I want to first talk about why is candidate experience important? And I think it's a good thing that we have Camp Daddy Crispin on. Candidate experience Camp Daddy Crispin. I keep wanting to call you Christmas, Jerry. To talk about, he's kind of the godfather of candidate experience. Would you say, Lori?
I would definitely say that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, he's got some work in on the topic. So Jerry, is it still an important topic? Is it done?
Well, it's not done. It needs to get started once more. I mean, this is one of those topics where, in the past, you would get pretty much, what do you mean be nice to the candidates or whatever it was? I don't have time for that. I got to make a living here putting bodies in seats. And And once we line up the candidates, pick two of them, get rid of everybody else, then we got to start all over with the next job. So, somewhere along all of this, we suddenly realize that the relationship that we build that is poor with candidates in how we treat them is long-term reflects back on us in terms of our business. Either through how we handle them, how they see us from a branding point of view and tell others about whether they should be applying for the same job, or in terms of our products and services. And the biggest problem we've had as an industry is not really measuring until the last 10, 12 years what that means as a compelling business issue. And we now have the data that demonstrates that if you screw around with the candidates, given the position that the candidates are in terms of being much more capable of sharing their information broadly and widely, and influencing how you're recruiting, we can measure the cost of that, and the cost is very high.
So I have do I have a hypothesis? I have a theory. So candidate experience hits strong years ago, right out of the gate. Talent board, you're doing this survey. There's awards, there's banquets. Like, it's a big topic for people paying attention, and it gets some momentum, and we start showing and proving that it impacts the business.
Yep.
And I think it is so successful that I think it starts to be almost taken for granted and baked in a lot of places. And I think and Laura, I'd love your opinion on this. You guys tell me anything wrong. I think we got lazy. Like the TA teams would get a little lazy. The process gets a little lazy. But I think because currently we have an almost unprecedented number of TA leaders who are in transition right now, who are looking for work and who are expressing frustration and pain points in the process. I have a feeling we will see a resurgence of a focus on a candidate experience as these leaders get back into leadership roles, going through the ghosting, right? Going through themselves, the ghosting, and no response to an application, shitty interviews, not feeling like they got to share their, what they bring to the table entirely, being dismissed. So that my theory is slump, and we're going to come out of that thing on fire. So Lori, what do you think? You agree? You disagree?
I think that's a good look forward when you think about where we are in the state of TA and the number of people that are looking for jobs right now that are the recipients of that. So I've often said to my teams that, I think it's good when you interview, hopefully within our company, but even if it's somewhere else, like, that is an empathy builder, because a day feels like a week and a week feels like a month when you're a candidate. And so I just think it's really good for people to take a step back and remember what that felt like, especially if you have tenure with your company and haven't been in those positions, to understand that feeling. And so I think you're right. Like, TA, I feel like for the most part used to be seen as overhead now, and we've been able to show, to Jerry, to your point, like, here's the dollars of the impact. This is why it's important to invest the people and the tools to be able to make sure that we can bring that to life.
If we're able to elevate our practices and technology that the recruiters are using, so that the candidates that don't go forward, and let me just specifically state, the ones you don't go forward with are candidates. And fundamentally, if we were so skilled that we could let them down in a way that was respectful, and even learn as recruiters how to give a little bit of feedback to help them compete the next time they have a job, and do it in a way that they appreciate, I think we would see a sea change in terms of how they become champions, if you will, for the next generation of recruiters who want to apply and work for you. And I think it's becoming increasingly important to do that. And I do think that there's going to be winners and losers in the next few years on the basis of that, because we are whether we like it or not, teaching candidates how to make better decisions for themselves for both the short and long term.
So Lori, let me ask you. I mean, I feel like this is the tip of the iceberg for the candidate experience conversation. I mean, in my humble but correct opinion, all three of us are spot on with regards to sort of where candidate experience sits and how important it is. But I think there's so much more that happens, and I think that's one of the reasons why we have, we're only doing 5 meetings this year. It's one of the reasons why candidate experience was part of that, because we typically have 11 topics that we hit pretty hard in person. We did 5 this year. Candidate experience made the cut. Why? Yeah, right. Why that topic? Why, when we ask leaders what topic they wanted to host, if they wanted to host, why did you raise your hand first and say candidate experience?
I think it's because I've always loved it in general, right? Like those are the conversations that I always get most excited about, because regardless of what CXR topic session you're attending, somehow candidate experience always gets brought up in there. And so I know for us at Edward Jones, we've been really thoughtful about it. We want to partner for positive impact. We want to deliver value through personal relationships. And I don't think it's any different with our candidates. So while we've done candidate personas and candidate journeys, 2023, we've had 2 big wins, which was moving our application to the end of the process. And that is for the individual that's receiving an offer. So that has multiple benefits in it. But then the second one, Jerry, to your point, is our assessment for our branch support professionals. As soon as they're finished, they receive an immediate feedback video to tell them, hey, here are some strengths for you to be considered and your next. And then that gets them set up, whether they have a job. So whether they're hired or not, they're getting that immediately. And it's done in a way that's positive, but also minimizes risk. Because I think that's part of the reason some companies are hesitant in giving some of that feedback. But I think as recruiters, where's the right moment to help them and be able to say, hey, your next interview, think about this.
I love that you have escalated. You have moved past you're just not the right fit, or you're not the most qualified candidate, such a generic answer for so long.
Or it's not the right time for you.
Yeah.
We would love to see you compete effectively for this job. And we want to give you some feedback to help you think that through. And over time, I hope you're back, and I hope we were able to hire you. Or, here's where you might have a really great career. It's just not with us.
Yeah, right.
We got to do something to be helpful there.
Yeah, I do think, to Lori's point, there is a risk mitigation issue with how much feedback we give back. That's a concern. But there's also, be a nice person. Give it, at least acknowledge the application, at least acknowledge, and I know this is baseline stuff, but it blows my mind. I'm talking at least three TA leaders a day right now when I'm in the office, and every single one of them is saying they're having a hard time on that front.
Nobody learns how to reject people. You learn it really as you mature on the job, and recognize that that's something that you need to do as well as you can. And it's not always fun, but the reality is it's a responsibility of being, I think, a world-class recruiter, is being able to reject in a way that's respectful. And most organizations just aren't asking recruiters to have that skill. And we need to build that. That's just one of several things, obviously. Setting expectations, holding people accountable, all the various things that we know now are critical practices for baseline issues with a good candidate experience program.
Right. Because what seems like common sense and baseline is not for everybody, right? You're kind of like, okay, well, I would have thought. But there are things, right? You can tell a candidate, hey, next time you interview, you might want to be a little bit more brief, or you should have spent more time talking about this. That's not saying why we did or didn't select them. It's giving them a nugget to then try to be better, right? We love feedback as human beings. So
yeah. Well, and to your point, and I think I said it earlier with the tip of the iceberg comment, that's why the meeting we have coming up is 2 days. Yeah. It is we do a dinner, kind of meet and greet the first evening. It's after we do a local charity event, which we're super excited about. CXR Chairs is part of CXR Cares. It's part of the CXR Foundation. But then we do a kickoff dinner. We do a full day at the headquarters, where we'll meet your team. We'll sit down with all of these other leaders, a full day of working through exercises and show and tells and case studies. And then we do a whole other half day. You can't, for a day and a half, talk about, gosh, we should get back to candidates. I mean, it's just there's just so much more to it.
Yeah. I think it's not just the what, it's the how pieces. And those are the things I'm excited to dive in with everybody.
I think we particularly want to learn from each other. So rather than get, so-called experts in a variety of other kinds of things who by and large learn from the people they talk to, it's what I love most about what we do is it's a shared process. So whether it's all of the folks who are members or the two folks that we're going to hopefully offer to join us, it's going to be participatory. So you need to think about that when you show up.
Well, you just said something, Jerry, that I'm a little embarrassed that I have not referenced or mentioned before, or even really given some thought to. When you have these non-practitioner experts who are touring and speaking, where does everybody think they get all of this knowledge from? It's the practitioners. It's the people that are doing the work and leaning in and doing it. So I think that's why I love, sitting in these rooms and listening to these people and learning from them.
Yeah. I will say, I do want to plug. I just say that these are great sessions for people who are introverted like me or extroverted, because it gives you a good structured way to mingle and learn more. But then for those that are extroverted, they're getting their cup filled. I'm still keeping mine right there, so it's really good. Like, I thrive off of those 2 days together with you all.
I love it. Well, let me really quickly for the dates, for those who are interested, I think we're kicking off September 11th, 5 p.m. That's when we get all of that good stuff together. And then it's going to go till the 13th, ends about, I'd say we get out of there no later than 2:00, and it's going to be in St. Louis. If you're interested, there, I got a little button to put on the screen. If you're interested, all you have to do is email info@cxr.works, and one of our team members is going to get back to you. Not anybody who emails us is going to get to go. So you got to be doing some of that work, willing to learn on that work. You don't have to be an expert at the candidate experience, but you do have to be leaning in and passionate about that topic. And we will put you in a room full of, quite frankly, awesome leaders from around the country. And sometimes we get some international folks come into the North America meetings to talk about this stuff. So I'm excited about it.
I can't wait. And I will say September is a beautiful time in St. Louis. Still a little warm, not too hot. So
oh my God,
that's my plug.
I love it. It's a great plug. Lori, it's just been so exciting to have you on. I'm so I don't know why we don't have you on the show more often. I'm a failure as a host. We need to have you back.
You know where to find me now.
All right, wonderful. Well, I think that's going to be it. So thank you so much for your time. And, we'll see you next time on the podcast for Recruiting Community. Is that pretty good, Jerry?
Yeah, it's really good.
It's getting close to the end of the week. It's all right. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Hang in there.
Thanks for listening to the CXR channel. Please subscribe to CXR on your favorite podcast resource and leave us a review while you're at it. Learn more about CXR at our website, cxr.works, facebook.com and twitter.com/careercrossroads, and on Instagram @careerxroads. We'll catch you next time.